Let's talk about page 81 in Peace with Broken Pieces.
That was around the time I started wearing a mask to try to blend in with the crowd. People will accumulate masks to be accepted, and that is exactly what I did. I often wore multiple masks during that phase of my life. My collection of masks included the tough mask, the cool mask, the slick mask, and the manipulative mask.
I am so interested to know what happened when you were 45 that made you feel safe enough to say, okay, I can walk through life now as my authentic self.
I was tired.
Okay.
It's really tiring to not be who you're supposed to be, who you are, who you were put here to be. Even today, I'm very aware. I know when I'm tired or mentally drained, I'm like, okay, hold on. What are you succumbing to as far as how many yeses are you giving when you're supposed to give no's? See, because when you tell all the wrong people yes, you tell the right people no. So, okay, I make myself aware of that. And I ask myself certain questions. Those masks, the cool mask, the manipulative mask, the I'm okay mask. Hey, I'm okay. Look at me, mom, no hands. I can do it. I promise you I'm okay. That's what they're saying is not what it is. Although mama, very rest in peace, but mamas know. Yeah, it was tired. And that's the only thing that comes to my mind. That's the most important. In my essence, it's the only thing because you're tired of being something that you're not. God pulled you through each and every use. He pulled me through each and every use. So obviously that wasn't my destiny. That wasn't my destination where that's going to be it. At no time did it feel good. That's what I want people to know. I didn't feel it all. And when I went to treatment to Vela and the rest of the world listening to this, the first week, it felt so good. Just not to even worry about manipulating, worry about putting on an act that matter. It was, wow. And I looked in the mirror and I saw myself for since I was 17. I hadn't seen myself. It was marks on my face that I hadn't seen, that I haven't even recognized were there. Because every time I looked in the mirror, I was seeing what I wanted to see. And not me, my true self. And that's what masks are, right? You put on a mask, you can't see what's behind it. If you don't know a person, up and down, if that's a person, if they got on a costume with a mask, you don't know who that person is. And that's how I was living. So, yeah, but it helped me cope. Had I seen who I really was, I wouldn't have been able to live with myself.
Now that the masks are released, you've taken it off. Who are you today? Like, who do you see when you look at yourself today?
Hi, my name is Donte, and I still fail. I'm clean, but I still fail. But that doesn't make me a failure. That's the humbling. That's what I tell myself. That's what I'm going to tell so many others. It's okay to fail. That doesn't make you a failure. When I see myself now, I see myself as a work in progress. Still, that's how I see myself. Till the day I die, I want to see myself as a work in progress. I want to see myself as I am you and you are me, to all the recovering addicts and alcoholics, anybody with addictions. I don't care what it is. See, people say, oh, this addiction here, this addiction here. No. See, look at the results. All the results are the same way. You're not living an abundant life. And so I am you and you are me. For me, I think we talked about this as well. The drugs numbed me a lot. So now for me, I have to get used to feeling. See, remember I told you in treatment, I was honest with them. Where are these people? What are they doing crying? I don't care if it was a grown man or a woman or whatever's going on. Why are they? And then I became jealous. I learned I was envious because they were feeling and I couldn't. So now when you say, who am I now? I am learning me. I am learning to feel. I am learning to be empathetic. Empathetic is to feel for another. I'm learning to be sympathetic. Sympathy is to understand somebody's struggle. Two different things. So those are the things that I explore. I know I'm here for someone else, and I'm real with it. Like, hey, I'm your biggest cheerleader. Obviously people who purchased the book, then everyone's not going to know me personally, but just know I'm your biggest cheerleader.
That is very true. So let's talk about being on the other side of addiction. You mentioned, and I want to quote you specifically because it literally was like the words jumped off the page as I read it back. Mm-hmm. On page 91, you say, I firmly believe that once you have been rescued, you must join the rescue. I plan to do my part to rescue as many people as possible for the rest of my life. What does rescue look like for you today?
I just mentioned and responded to the previous question, empathy and sympathy. And those are the things, that's why I work on those. So I hone those and I embrace those two qualities because those are the ones that are most needed to be in the rescue. I know what it feels like to lay on that park bench. I know, as I stated before in the book and to you many times, Tavetta, in the most humble ways, I know what it feels like to be washing up in the library and people are knocking on the door and they want to be getting in the bathroom for what it's there for, but it was my shower. I know what it feels like to miss that meal at the mission because you're chasing a high. So now you don't eat that day. I know what it feels like to be in a house and you're good as long as you have money, but when money's gone, you're out in the cold. And I'm with you. And that's when I just said, I'm your biggest cheerleader. Your story is not done. How do I know? Because you're listening to this or you're reading this. That's why I know your story isn't done. My rescue is more in letting everyone know. It doesn't even matter if you're in addiction, if you're quote unquote normal. It's okay. It's okay. But to my recovering addicts and alcoholics, and people in addictions, we always right here, eye to eye. Nobody's above nobody. And that's why you're going to hear me talk about the times I fail, because people learn people learn the most from my failures, failing, and seeing that I got back up. I referenced to Mandela when he said, don't judge me by my successes, but yeah, judge me by how many times I got knocked down and got back up. That's what I want them to know as I sit in front of them and speak at these engagements and be blessed with my books, as God bring them to us, to know, yeah, I fail. But check out this triumph right here. He has that same triumph for you. The rescue, let me tell you what the rescue really looks like for the whole community. To understand that your recovery isn't about you. That somewhere, somebody is there on their hands and knees praying for motivation, praying for hope, praying for someone to be in their life. You're the one that God is going to choose to send. And when you ask me what rescue looks like for me within the addiction, that's what it looks like for me. It looks like that if I don't succeed, a lot of people might lose their lives.
Once again, thank you for sharing so honestly, open and transparently